Hi my dear friends, my name is Hussein Mashayikhi and I'm back with another session from our Unreal Engine course. This is the 6th session of our course, and in this one we're going to explore and learn about levels. Now you may think that the idea of a level is too simple, and you're kind of right, but it is very important for us to make sure that we know how to work with levels in Unreal Engine. Now, we all know what a level could entail. For example, in video games, we have multiple levels. Each level has different tasks and assignments, and each level can have its own look or feel. But for us in Unreal Engine, when we are working on our architectural projects, the idea of these levels could mean a kind of different thing, and we should just learn how to use these levels in our projects. Okay, our project has been completely loaded. Let's go to content browser, and if I put the filter on level, it gives us the levels that we have access to, and they have this orange bar on the icon. So let's go to the starter map and see what that looks like. Okay, this is our starter map, and if you had checked a starter map to be installed when you were installing Unreal Engine, you get this level. Okay, it has many different planes and materials, and you can just explore and test a lot of things here. All right, let's go back to the default level. This is the default level, and we can go to the advanced lighting level. Okay, this one's advanced lighting level. Now I'm going to delete this starter map. Okay, let me just delete this. All right, and I want to also delete the advanced lighting map, but I'm already inside it, so I need to go back to the default level first. Now I can delete the advanced lighting level too. All right, now we can also add our own levels and make them. So to do that, you simply do a right click on the content browser and select level, and I can just name it 01, for example. Let's go inside it. It says it needs to be, do you want to save it? I say save. And this is what we get. It's completely blank, completely empty. Doesn't have any type of starter content in it. So let's just delete that. Let's just delete this level too. I can also duplicate this level. So I right click on it and choose duplicate. And I name this one H01. Okay. Now, if we go to this level, it's a complete copy. Let's just save it too. It's a complete copy of our default level. Okay. All right, now I want to make some changes to this H01 level. So I want to delete everything except this table and the statue that is sitting on it. So let me just delete the tables, the lights, everything. So I'm going to delete everything that I see here. Okay, and to make sure that everything is deleted, I go to the outliner panel. Okay, and here I can just delete some other things that I had not deleted before. So I'm going to delete everything other than this static meshes folder. Okay, let's just delete these. So all we have left is the static meshes, which is the table and the statue. So I go to the view and put it on lit, and now we can see it. Okay, this is all we have now in this level. Now if I want to save this level onto itself, all I have to do is to go to file and select save all. Okay, so now I have made a save of this level onto itself. Let's go back to the default level. See, let's just put it on lit. Okay, no changes here. Go back to the H01, and all we have is a table. So let's go back to the default level. All right, so if I make a change here, for example, if I create a shape, a cube, put it here, and decide to go to the other level, it gives me this prompt. So if I don't save this previous level and go to the next one, you can see that the cube is has not been saved. And let's just do it again. This time save it. Now we go to the H01, and if I go back to the default level, this time the cube is there. So make sure to save whatever you do in each level before navigating into other levels. Now also I can do something else. For example, let's just make some changes here. I'm going to delete these chairs and tables, and I can do save current level as. So if I select this option, I get to save what I just did onto another level in any folder that I like. So For example, these two levels are inside the maps folder inside is starter content. I can just choose any folder that I want. So let's just go back here, go to file and click on save custom level as. I want to put it inside the starter content, starter content and maps, and I want to call it, for example, let's call it H02, and I can save it. Now we have three levels. We have the default level, okay, with this cube, which is the main level. We have the H02 and H01 with the table, okay. All right, so we have different ways of saving our levels. Now let me just delete the H02. We're not gonna need it. So, and let's go to H01. Let's just save this current level. Okay, so we had a table and a statue in H01. All right, let me just delete the table and this cube in our default level, and we're going to do, let's just save it too. We're going to do something interesting now. A good thing about Unreal Engine is that we can import levels onto each other. For example, when we have a level that has a lot of trees and flowers and things like that, things of that nature, or translucent things that cannot be used with nanite, okay? And those things take a toll on our FPS. We can have multiple levels and load them onto each other. One of them with the trees and those heavy objects, and another one without. And then we load the level with the trees and the heavy stuff onto the level that does not have the trees and those heavy objects. That's gonna lower our FPS. Now, before we proceed, nanite is the ability to have numerous copies of a certain object in our scene without taking a toll on our FPS. We're going to learn more about it later on, but for now, I'm going to import one of these levels that we have here onto the other one, just like the level of trees that I talked about in that example. So to start, we go to Window and go to the Levels panel, and we're going to need this. So I'm going to put it on the side, on the left side, okay, here. So we click on Levels and then Add Existing. Okay, so we get this window. Now these are the two levels that we already made and have. We have H01 and we open it. And now you can see that we have the table, which was the only thing that we had in H01, loaded onto the default level with the chairs and without the table. Okay. And if we toggle the visibility off on the table, because we have less objects, we can have better FPS. So this is basically what happens when we decide to do this. Imagine a level full of trees. So if we toggle those trees off, we're gonna have better FPS. We can also move certain things on our levels and just save them. For example, if I just move this table and go to Save All, save it as well onto H01, this save takes effect on the two levels. So if I go to H01, you can see that the table has been shifted. It has moved. The statue is over here, but the table has moved to the right. Okay. So this is a very useful trick to have in our arsenal when we are working on other levels. So basically, whenever we go to File and select Save All, any difference that we have been made gets saved on all the levels that are present. So if we again move the table and do Save All, it's going to take effect on the two levels that we have. Now, what if we only want to save this change, a certain type of change on one level? We can do that as well. To do that, for example, let's just put this table on the left. We have to go to File and select Save Current Level, this option here. Now, if I go to the H01 level, all right, let's just go there and not save this. You can see that the change has been made. The table has shifted to the left. But if you go to the default level, I'm not going to save this one either. See, the table is on the right. So this time, the change was only made to the H01 level. So what you need to pay attention to when you're doing this is to know what is the current level. So right now, for example, if I put this table here and I want to save it, I gotta see which is the current level for me right now. So I gotta right click on H01 and select Make Current, because I want this to be the current level. And now I can go to File and select save current level. This time I'm pretty sure that the change has only been made to the H01 level because I made that the current level. Alright, we gotta learn these concepts and these tricks because later on when you are working on other projects, you're gonna have to save a lot of objects on a number of levels, and if you don't know how to do these things, it's gonna be problematic. Okay, let's go to the H01 level. I'm going to add something there. I'm going to save the previous level as well. So I'm going to create a shape here. Let me just put this view mode on lit so that we can see it. All right, we have this white cube here. So let me just move it to the side. And if we go to the file and do a save all, and if you go back to the default level, we can see this cube too. So it's going to be saved onto both of these levels. All right, so I'm going to put the view mode back on lit, and then let's make this default level our current level. So we do a make current on it. Okay, now I'm going to add some shapes here for a cube. Let's just change the size and placement. Let's just move this to the side, and if we toggle the visibility on H01 off, you can see that it is still there because it's not a part of H01. Okay, so to make it a part of H01 level, we select it along with some other stuff, and then we do a right click on the H01 level and then choose the option move selected actors to level. Okay, this time they have been added to H01, and you can see that when I toggle it off, they go away too. Okay, now please don't confuse levels with layers. Okay, levels are not layers. I know it may look like these are layers like we have in Photoshop or other programs. What we tried to do was to lower the FPS in a level by having another level imported onto it. Okay, so do not confuse this with layers. And also the philosophy behind what we did was less objects means more FPS, and that's why we did that. We also can go to our level, right click on it, and for example use lock. And by locking an object in a level or a complete level, we cannot select it anymore. So right now I locked this level, and we have this toggle icon for lock that we can use. We have other options that we can learn later on, but the reason I made a separate session for levels is because it's very important. All right, now this directional light that I have belongs or is saved into my current level. So if I toggle off the visibility for my current level, I don't have the light anymore. Now what I can do is to select the directional light, go to this level and move it to the other level as well. I get this prompt and I'm gonna select yes. It's not important. It says that the light has been referenced in other places. Okay, and now you can see that I have that light source in both of my levels. Okay, all right, now how do we apply this into an architectural project? What we can do is to, for example, have the walls, the foundation, the main parts of our building into one level, and then we can have the furniture and some of the items that we have inside that level into another one, and then load the second level onto the first level. Okay, that's what we can do for our architectural projects and the buildings that we are going to work on. And this helps us save some time when we are working with textures and materials and we need a lighter workspace. All right, now let me tell you something else. If I put this into game mode by hitting play, I can only see these two chairs which belong to the default level, and I cannot see the stuff that I have on the H01 level, and that's a problem. Okay, even if I make an executable file for my client right now, and if they load it and go to game mode, they can only see these two chairs and they cannot see everything that I have on both of my levels. To solve this problem, I can do a couple of things. I can either right click on this level and select actors. Okay, select all the actors that I have, and then go to my default level. Okay, right click on it and select move selected actors to level. If I do this, it's going to solve my problem. Now that was one way. Another thing that I can do is to go to this H01 level, go to change a streaming method and select always loaded. So if I do this again, that problem is gonna go away. All right, so you have two options to take care of this problem and load two different levels or more simultaneously. Okay. Now we have another option. If you lost a level and you could not find it, you can go to this find in content browser and it will show you where it's located. Okay, so you can just easily find it by this option. All right, now, so we have these levels. Now let me show you something else. Right now, we are at the H01 level. Okay, so let's just save the changes. And let me just go to File and click on Save All To. And the name of my project is my project 9. All right, so if I open another project, okay, for testing purposes, and wait for that to load. Okay, now once we are inside a different project, if you remember correctly, the last place that we were at was H01, the level H01. If we go back to that project, which was called my project 9, this time we are not gonna land on the level H01 that we had. We're gonna land into the default level. Okay, so this was the default level. All right, so this is another problem, and we can fix this by going to the project setting under edit, and in maps and modes, okay, maps and modes, under default maps, we can change our default map into whatever we want, whatever level that we have. For example, H01. Okay, I'm gonna change my default map into H01. Okay, now let me just go back to my viewport and save this level 2, save all. Now, if we're at the default level. So if we go back to the H01, this is H01, this is the default level. Now I want to just close everything altogether. Let me just close everything. So close Unreal, open it again. Now, after Unreal is loaded completely, I'm going to open the project called my project 9. Okay, let's just find it here. My project 9. My project 9. It's this one. Okay, so we're going to open it. And once it's loaded, this time it should take us into the level called H01 because we set our default map into H01. So let's see. All right. As you can see, we landed onto the H01 level. Okay, so this was our default level. And we went to project setting and under maps and modes, and we changed our default map into the level H01. All right, now let me show you something else. If I, let's just put the default map back into the default, all right, and close it. Now, if I want to make an executable file for my client, if I want to make a package, the package is gonna be taken with the default map or level selected. So let's just go back to my project 9, open that, and see how that works. So I gotta pay attention to what level or map has been chosen as my default in the project setting when I want to make those types of executable files. So again, go back to project setting, maps and modes. If I want to make an executable with level H01, I gotta change my default map into H01 like I did just now. So let's just close this, go to platforms and select Windows and package project. Don't worry about this stuff, you're gonna learn later on. So right now just follow along. So I want it to be saved on my desktop, and right now it's gonna take some time and it's gonna create that package for me and save it on my desktop. This package is the one that I showed you in the first session, the folders that we are going to hand over to our clients. And remember that we went to project setting and put the default map on H01, okay? And as you can see right now, we are currently residing in our default level. So let's wait for the package to be completed and check it out. Okay, so let's just go to our desktop, open this folder and open this executable file. All right, let me just close this prompt too. Okay, so as you can see there, this is the H01 level that we had selected as our default map in the project setting. So let's close this folder, go back to the project setting in edit, okay, and go to maps and modes and change this back into default, okay, the default map. All right, so let's create another package, Windows, and again, this one's going to be saved into my desktop. So right now it's 2:208 a.m. Let's see how much this one takes. It's not gonna take that much time because we do not have that many blueprints or objects and elements in our scene, so it's gonna be completed rather quickly. Okay, it took 1 minute, so let's just open this one and see which level it lands at. Okay, there, it's the default level. Okay, so all right, now just check out the quality. Nothing's been done, but just we have a stellar looking quality. Okay, now if you made an executable file and some of your objects were missing, make sure to go back and check if you have put this option change a stringing method onto always loaded. Okay, so make sure this is checked. All right, I think that's all for this session. It was really important, as I said before, to be able to save our levels properly and know the different methods that we have for saving our projects. In the next session, actually, we're going to learn how to import our objects from other 3D programs into Unreal Engine and be able to work on them. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I will see you in the next one.